you did get them right. I think you're a liar, what I think.
Definitely did.
He said, "Dadgum."
You've got the freaking box. You've got the dead gun.
Man, I'm telling you, all I know is the guy told me that they were suspects in a murder case. The first thing that popped in my head was that gun. And I don't know what the is going on, but I want to know.
Bro, you hear a backwater cop say "dadgum," you already know we're in it. We're in the thick of it, okay? You say "dadgum," automatically just you're getting executed. No, he said "dadgum." Like that to me, one of the most goated things you could fucking say. This man is the genuine, iconic, Southern dad. Okay.
This is Samantha Wolford, a young mother, a wife, and an aspiring YouTuber turned ruthless killer.
Hey guys, I was asked to do a video 15 weird things about me.
She has arrived at the sheriff's office for routine questioning after her husband was kidnapped during an alleged home invasion. It was an unthinkably sadistic plot. The abduction of a young father and a futile race against the clock to find him before it was too late.
This narrator, out of all of the murder narrators, is one of my favorite narrators, I think. Sometimes, if they don't get the energy right, though, it does come across like a Super Bowl commercial. But like in other instances like this one, it seems like it sets the tone very well.
Wind approximately 6 years. Samantha, a single mother of 10-month-old twin girls, was just 19 years old when she met 23-year-old Ernie Ibarra Jr., who was known to friends as Dagan. The two began a relationship which soon turned to marriage, and eventually the couple had 3 children together. Although they were doing their best to get by in the small town of Mount Pleasant, located in Titus County, Texas, the relationship was already starting to crumble. It was no secret that the couple had their problems. However, it ended up escalating to a point of no return, and no one had anticipated things would end in such a shockingly tragic way.
Titus County 911, what's your emergency?
I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. I am at the verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay, she's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged.
And gagged? Is that what you said? Ma'am. Is there anybody else?
Here's the thing, like I feel like home invasions in Titus County, Texas, like how many of them are gonna be real? You know what I mean? Like why the fuck would there be any real home invasions in Titus County? Because the thing is, home invasions, you know how they happen? They happen if you're in college and you're selling drugs out of your house. You know what I mean? That's like one of the few instances where you could actually have a home invasion. You know what I mean? Or you're bad take? Wait, what? Are you saying college? Yeah, yeah. Home invasions in this, that's a bit specific there. Well, I have not personally experienced it, but yes, when I visited a college, when I was in college, that literally happened. But what do you mean, dude? Literally half the houses in my street have been broken into at some point? Okay, listen to me. There's a difference between a regular robbery and a home invasion. Okay? A regular robbery when the people are not inside the house, okay? When you scope out the scene, when you basically case a house and see if there's no one inside and then break in and, steal a couple shit that you can get your hands on is very different than a home invasion. That's why it's called a burglary, okay? A home invasion, on the other hand, is very specific. You break into a house, there are people in the house, you sit them down with a gun and fucking tie them up and shit like that. Higher likeliness in rural communities. I feel like it's less likely. No, why the fuck would that happen when there's nothing to steal? That's why I feel like this is not a home invasion, but a staged one so that they can get away with like an actual crime. That's what I'm saying. All home invasions are real. They just know the invaders. I mean, yeah, most of the instances where like a home invasion is happening it has to be like a drug house. There has to be something. There has to be something like meth or something that they want to fucking break in and steal, and they want to steal it or cash. If it's a drug house, it's not just usually drugs, but the motive is the cash. If you're operating a fucking drug house, that means you probably have a lot of cash on hand. Okay? That means you can steal from people who are already violating the rule of law. Okay? They're less likely to cooperate with the authorities. They're not going to call the cops. And they always have cash on hand. That's why I'm saying, like, as far as rural home invasions goes, it seems less likely to happen than a home invasion that could potentially happen in a city. Did you hear about the story of BTP Savage recently who had a home invasion happen to him? He killed the invader, then got killed in the next couple of days in his car. Yes, I did see that, but I didn't talk about it. Yeah. He killed the home invader, posted a photo of it, and was about to did he give a DJ Vlad interview? But before he could give a DJ Vlad interview, someone found him and killed him. And then actually the guy who killed him literally, I think, posted on Instagram saying, I killed him. But it wasn't even him who killed the home invader. It was his girlfriend, right? Oh, he did a Vlad interview. That's crazy. Yeah, see, I was a victim of a home invasion. They knew someone who lived there who sold drugs. We had to move all our paraphernalia to the neighbor's house before calling the cops. Yeah. We'll look at that in a little bit after this.
Where are the kids? We have 5 small infants asleep.
5 small infants asleep?
Yes, ranging from 7 to 1.
7 to 1 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Does she know,
Samantha, did you know who the suspects are?
Can I talk to her? Is she able to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, Samantha. I know you're upset, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you need EMS?
Like, what the fuck are they home invading here?
Do anything to me. They hit me once. She's advising no. They only hit her
What the
once.
fuck are they home invading here, dude? Look at this house. Like, unless this is like a trap house where they have a fuckload of cash lying around somewhere. Not even a fuckload, but at least enough for it to justify like a violent crime with a very specific with a very different prison sentence. You know, they're not gonna burglarize a house like this.
Okay. I just asked my aunt if it was bruising or anything, and she said no. They hit me in the face. Okay. They hit you in the face? Yeah. They had me tied up and they dragged me down the stairs to face my husband. And when my husband went in to face me, they hit me in the face. Like, backhand slapped me. And so he looked at me then and they said, I thought that would get your attention. And I want you to stare at this woman. Do you want us to kill her? And he said, no. And they said, then tell us the truth. And he said, I don't know anything.
When someone gives way too many details on a 911 call, this can be a warning sign that they may not be telling the truth. The purpose of a 911 call is to get help immediately. As Samantha is not currently in danger anymore, her primary focus should be on getting help finding her husband. Instead of requesting that officers be sent right away to search for him, she's telling an elaborate story about what supposedly happened. There's no sense of urgency in getting her husband found. If someone is lying on a call to emergency services, they may feel the need to offer up all these additional details because they want to support their lie. Samantha's love for acting isn't a secret after all.
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in like short films, and I've done plays. I think it is so much fun, and it is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever, to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
Members of the Titus County Sheriff's Office respond to the crime scene shortly after 2 a.m. Immediately, an investigation into the violent home invasion and kidnapping of Ernie Ibarra Jr. is launched. The following footage is raw body cam footage recorded by Corporal Chris Durant and Deputy Ed Godoy just minutes after the twisted crime took place.
Sheriff's Office.
I'm upstairs. I'm sorry, sir.
Sorry.
Okay. Here. Hey,
Are you still talking with Sheriff?
They told me that I have to stay.
She tell her you're here.
I did.
She's still putting
She
on
said
hot
she still has a few questions for me before I can get off.
Let me have it and I'll take care of it, and you talk to them.
So, walk me through what happened.
I don't honestly know what happened. I was in no sleep, and we heard a noise, and the second I was able to open my eyes, somebody grabbed me and jerked me out of the bed and slammed me down on the ground and started tying me up and put a knife to my throat and told me don't move.
Okay.
They were punching him over and over and over, and just he was fighting back, and I was just letting him do it. And
What's your husband's name?
Ernest Ibarra.
Ernest Ibarra? Okay.
The officer is conducting a typical investigatory field interview at this point. However, these statements can be admissible in legal proceedings. The body camera footage can be reviewed by investigators and inconsistencies discovered between initial contact and later interrogation.
One of them did say the name Luke, but that's it. That was all. That's only in identifying anything I've got. One of them said, "Hey, Luke," and the guy turned, but that's the only identifying anything I've got.
Samantha changing her voice to imitate the alleged intruder may be an attempt to dramatize the attack in order to make it appear more believable. Although her voice is emotional, she doesn't actually express much concern about Dagan, and instead seems focused on telling the story about everything that happened to her. It's discovered that Dagan's phone was also taken by the assailants.
They took his phone, but they didn't take mine. I had mine hidden. So I was able to...
So he's got his phone?
No, they have his phone.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. What's his phone number? Huh? Well, I need that number. Get that number from me.
They cut my shirt off, and then after they made me stand there naked in front of him,
The fuck?
threatening to do things to me. The guy said,
You were outside or here inside?
I was in the living room.
The living room?
When they took me to the living room, he said, "Get your shirt and get it quick, because I'm not this type of person." So I started rummaging through my closet. He said, "I said get it quick," and pushed the knife against my throat. So I just grabbed whatever shirt
Okay.
and put it on.
Okay.
But he grabbed my shirt and he started cutting it. He cut it down the collar, and then he said,
What's your name?
"Samantha."
Samantha
Wolford.
Wolford?
Where's that shirt at? Is it downstairs? What color is it?
It's gray sweater.
Gray sweater? Okay.
That's what I was sleeping in.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got, the front door's been kicked in.
As he did,
This does ring some alarm bells with respect to how many of the details she's just like retelling. You know what I mean? Like, it's like she's crying, but she's also she has like so much clarity on exactly everything that happened. It is certainly a red flag. I feel like the accuracy of her statements make it more convincing. No, I think it's less convincing when you're like able to immediately engage in like recall instead of being shocked and terrified and not able to give like detailed accounts of what the fuck happened. Bro, what do you mean? They like, in the story that she's telling, they sexually assaulted her. They like cut her clothes, they ripped her clothes off. Recalling exact words in that situation that people possibly stated seems very suspicious.
Dictates details of the crime scene to dispatch. Samantha handles her own urgent business. She sends out a text message that reads as follows.
Hey, this is what we need to do. I need to do an emergency phone ping on, yeah. And I've got the cell phone number.
The phone service company is immediately contacted in hopes that the position of Dagan's phone can be traced and lead law enforcement to his location before it's too late.
Was the spray paint already on the walls?
Yeah, somebody broke in over Christmas time, or over Halloween time, and did that. And he's already been out here once over this.
Okay.
They cut his hair off. I don't know why.
Is that
his hair?
That's his hair?
What?
His hair.
Okay.
And he said...
Okay, bro, straight up, like, this is also just the weirdest crime. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just very, very weird crime on top of that. The message said, turn the phone off. You send a text message saying, turn the phone off.
And you said those are the pants you had on?
He said you're going to want something of your husband, and choked a piece of his hair off and threw it on the floor.
And you said those are his pants that he had on?
Yeah.
Where's the sweater you had on?
I think that's been on the dining room floor. Or on the chair.
On the chair?
Gray sweater, it's got a cut all over it.
Okay.
I said I got another car pulling up. Let me go see who this is.
Due to the fact that I was dialing with my nose.
Hey, just stay out there for just a second for me, okay?
Can I go out there?
Well, let's get this checked out real quick. Because right now this is the most important thing, you know. Let's get this all figured out.
I don't see how
that's
many
a puppy.
statements
2 puppies.
in the crucial hours of you finding my husband.
It is because, I mean, this may help you trigger something to help us, you know.
About 2:02 a.m. His cell phone ping 0.86 miles from a residence in Pittsburgh.
You know anybody in Pittsburgh?
Adopt them? Bro, this is 2015.
Samantha does, in fact, know someone in Pittsburgh, as it just so happens. As the deputy continues to gather information from Samantha, the corporal speaks with Samantha's mother, Rosie, and Samantha's Aunt Ginger.
Sir. How you doing?
Just fine.
You're the one that found her?
Yes, she's the one that found her. I'm the one she called.
Okay. So she called you first?
She called me.
Okay.
Bound and gagged, and then she called me. We live in Winfield. Do we have any idea where her husband is?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm assuming it has something to do with people that would be part of his circle. That's the only thing I could possibly put together, is that it had something to do with people that he knew.
Samantha says that the intruders named someone she knows as the reason for the attack on her husband. For this person's privacy, as they were never proven to be involved in the case, we have redacted their name.
Did they say Waco? Where the fuck is this? It's Texas. What is it? Titular, Texas or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna put a quick pause on here. One, I have an announcement. If someone who is watching this with us currently, Titus County, Texas, who said that they would want to come on to react, and 2, I forgot to actually promote that I am watching murder. Murder is that's right. That person's name is Valkyrae. On. Let's see if this works. I'm going to tweet it out as well. Hello?
Hello.
Are you going to do cam on?
Heck no.
Wait, why not?
Because I'm not ready.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we're watching crime, and
Yeah.
that's your number one that's your number one thing to watch. But it's also something that you experienced earlier today. You want to talk about that?
Are you serious?
How are you feeling?
Also, wait, you've also experienced a crime, actually committing a crime. We
Wait,
should talk
what is
about
that?
that. The crime of you blaming it on me while we haven't done the other puppy stream. That's a crime.
Wait, what? That's not a crime. That's
Yes, it is.
valid. It's factually accurate information.
It's not my fault. Confess.
I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, someone broke into Ray's car.
Oh yeah, I got robbed.
Could always be worse, but it was truly just a matter of time living in LA. I mean, hey, how does it feel when you get robbed and people actually support you instead of saying you deserve it? Fuck you.
I'm sure there's a couple of people, low-key laughing. Seeing the Lambo got broken into.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're all right. How are you feeling?
I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just got worse and worse.
Well, nothing to fix your bad day and turn it around with a little bit of murder. You know what I mean? Because hey, you're having a bad day, but you know who's also having a bad day? This woman who actually portrayed herself as a victim, but in the worst way possible, when she's actually the killer. Obviously, that's a spoiler alert,
Wait,
but
did you just spoil the?
well, it doesn't matter. It's the literal name of the video.
Oh my god, this day sucks.
It's Explore With Us.
I
The
got
videos from
Hasan
Explore With Us.
Spoiling the whole movie.
Okay, the title spoils it. They said it in the first 2 minutes. I thought you were watching when you said you wanted to come on and do a co-react.
I am.
Wow, not paying attention. It's all good.
No, I am paying attention. Actually, okay, I lied. I'm not.
That's fucked up.
Okay, I'm present. I have one eye on the video, one eye on Hearthstone. I'm ready.
Wait, what?
What?
No, this deserves 100% of your attention, okay? That's crazy.
What do you mean? I'm not streaming. I'm hanging out.
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean? You can't be... Okay, whatever. Here. Okay. All right. She games more than this bastard? Bro, that's an addiction, okay? That's actually...
today?
What?
Are you in a game today?
I will be gaming in a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to game after this. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to continue watching, and I guess you can... I don't know how we're going to do this. You just have the YouTube video up, I guess?
Oh, can you...
Oh, wait, I could just share my screen with you, right?
Yeah, can you share?
On. You get the... Do you hear what's going on screen too?
Well, if you screen share it, yeah.
The
Has
sound may
audio.
not be available when sharing a screen on your device. I think it should be fine. Let's see.
Throughout. Samantha will continue to bring up this person's name
Oh, never
throughout
Can you
the
hear?
investigation.
No, it's fine. I'll just watch it from your stream.
Wait, you can't hear? Wait, what the hell? Why not? Oh, you share Chrome, not the window. Hold on. 1 second. And I think that's how you hear it. Yeah. Oh, you hear it that way. Yeah. It should be fine now.
Samantha sends out yet another urgent text message
Can you hear
at
now?
3:19
Can you hear?
Yeah.
I'm the one she called.
But I don't see the video.
So she called you first.
She called me.
Okay.
Bound and gagged, and then she called me.
Hello?
We live in with.
Hello?
Hello?
Do you not see it? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. I heard it for a second, and now I can't hear it, and I can't see it.
What? Just look at I can see it though. I don't understand how that makes sense. I can literally see it in the Discord.
Oh. I see it.
Okay,
Hear it.
okay.
Do we have
That
any
was your
idea
fault
where
somehow.
her husband is?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm assuming it has something to do with people that would be part of circle. That's the only thing I could possibly put together is that it had something to do with people that knew.
Samantha says that the intruders named someone she knows as the reason for the attack on her husband. For this person's privacy, as they were never proven to be involved in the case, we have redacted their name throughout. Samantha will continue to bring up this person's name throughout the investigation. Samantha sends out yet another urgent text message at 3:19 a.m. reading, At this time, investigator Chris Bragg arrives at the scene and the corporal begins to bring him up to speed. Interestingly, the investigator is immediately skeptical.
So they've got a pretty volatile past, and we've arrested him before.
Yeah.
Assaulting her and the infant. Make sure she didn't do something to him and then stage the scene to make it look like something happened.
The investigator is developing what's called a theory of the case. This is the same theory of the case work that a prosecutor will do in order to paint a picture of the criminal activity, linking physical evidence, statements, and circumstantial evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
He looked down and he had cuts on the top of his head, and they had him kneeling right here, and they cut part of his hair off.
Wild to me that in the year 2015 of our holy Lord, okay, you fantasized about like a crime scene that you elaborately crafted like this, but you didn't think about the phone towers pinging.
Yeah, that's insane. I feel like that's the biggest rookie mistake.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, you cut his fucking hair and shit, and you didn't even think about, and you didn't think about that part. Like, that's the first thing you're supposed to do. He's a rookie.
Noobs.
After a brief search of the first floor, the corporal then guides the investigator to the staircase that leads to the bedroom where the attack began.
So they kick the door and they come up these stairs. And get them before they're able to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's the only part that's getting me is how do you... They would have to either be familiar with the place.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. These are the smartest cops in Texas. I've never actually seen cops this fucking quick. That is surprising how quick. Like, this is the Sherlock Holmes of what is it, Titus County, Texas? Like, that's wild. A man who says dadgummit is capable of this level of logical thinking. Excellent investigation. Respect.
To be able to do all that and know where they were asleep. And the babies are asleep in there.
Both members of the sheriff's office observe that the conditions in the home are not ideal for children to live in after viewing the area where all 5 children lay sleeping, though the body cam doesn't capture a clear view.
Pitiful conditions.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing a whole lot of blood, though, for somebody that was pistol whipped.
The investigator proposes they have Samantha come upstairs to provide more specifics.
I haven't seen it or anything. All that. I don't know what's wrong with it or what.
They know what a pistol injury looks like, if you know what I'm saying. What were you saying?
The
What'd you say,
cops are
Ray?
suspicious.
Yeah. She is very suspicious. She's acting suspicious.
This But they kept saying, cause this,
Oh my God, she's the worst.
asking for compensation, $20,000.
Remember this. It'll be important later on in the story.
If you would just hold tight with her, so I'm gonna go get some evidence bags. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my camera. I'll be right back.
Are you guys trying to accuse me of something?
What?
Her story immediately falls apart here, though Samantha's reaction is typical of someone caught in a lie.
What the fuck?
However, this is why all subjects under questioning should request counsel and...
Sir, do you think I did the murder? Because it seems like you think I did the murder. He's like, what? No, where'd that fucking come from? Dadgummit, I never said that.
refuse to answer questions. Police motives are not frequently known, though it's common to start with a large pool of suspects and eliminate them, rather than start with an empty pool and try to add likely suspects. This means you're immediately classified as a suspect or material witness until proven otherwise during the investigation phase.
What kind of gun is that?
The Glock.
Standard issued or?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see it? Can I see it? Can you take it out?
No. Then I gotta do paperwork.
What the fuck, officer? Could you please hand me your service weapon? I certainly didn't do the murder, but I would like to do one now. What the fuck?
Why is she asking that?
She just thought she got white women powers. She thought, listen, you got to go for it, you know? In that situation, you just got to go for it, right?
Maybe she's trying to bond with him or something.
Yeah, intrusive thoughts are winning. Cops hate this one simple trick when you ask them for their service weapon. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Really? I just was gonna see comparatively to the gun they had. I don't know guns, but the gun he had wasn't very big, or his hand wasn't very small, one or the other. It fit pretty closely to his hand size.
Oh my gosh.
This is a very odd
She's
request
so
given the
silly.
circumstances. It's noteworthy that in the midst of Samantha's chit-chat with the officer, she doesn't appear to stress that her husband is missing. It's possible that this is her attempt to be friendly and distract the officers from the situation, since she may believe at this point that police may consider her a suspect.
What them kept saying, took someone from us. The only thing I can figure is they're saying like narked on someone. They said something about now he's behind bars.
What time did y'all go to bed last night?
What?
Around 11.
Just a couple hours before the invasion occurred. Next time, she'll have a different answer to the question.
How old your babies?
Youngest.
One. You got four? Five? They were in there squirming a minute ago. Hmm?
What is going on?
Investigators are doing their thing.
Samantha doesn't seem overly concerned about her children, but it seems she's already growing impatient with the investigation. Little does she know, this is just the very tip of the iceberg. At 6:10 a.m., just a few short hours after the violent home invasion and abduction of Samantha Wolford's husband, Dagan, she arrives at the Titus County Sheriff's Office in northeastern Texas. It's here that the disturbing story will start to unfold.
About to curl up on the floor and go to sleep.
Samantha places a call to her mother, but displays almost no emotion during the course of the conversation. She appears very self-centered, and her behavior is quite strange for a woman whose husband is missing.
I would like something to eat. I'm starving to death. Biscuits and gravy, no sausage. Biscuits and gravy, no sausage, and french fries.
Samantha gives her mother a food order over the phone. It's surprising she has an appetite at a time like this. She lays on the floor, which is very...
Yeah, right after a big murder, you got to get a hearty meal in. Everybody knows that. Fuck you mean? Time for biscuit
childlike
and
and is an
sausage.
unexpected behavior for an adult. Samantha consistently acts like more of a high school student rather than an adult mother of 5. Chris, the investigator, enters the room.
Have we heard anything?
We're still working on everything. Get your walking. For me.
I feel like there's something he hasn't been telling me, but I don't know what.
What's your gut feeling tell you? That
I think it's something to do with.
What do you think would be going on?
I hate, and I'm usually right, and I hate that, but he has a problem with getting involved in things that he don't need to be getting involved with.
Samantha seems to be setting up a potential motive as to why the attack and kidnapping may have occurred. She continually brings up the same person in her speculations about what may have happened.
Has he been using any drugs?
No.
What about you?
No. And I can take a test right now.
This is a convincing statement, which can be a red flag for possible deception. When someone is being truthful, they're more likely to just provide a straightforward denial. However, when someone is lying, they often feel some anxiety about whether they will be believed or not. So they may add on these types of convincing statements to support their lie.
So have you had in the past used any drugs?
Me? No.
Never been involved in it?
It's interesting that Samantha states she's never been a drug user. However, David Smith, a former friend of both Dagan and Samantha, alleges otherwise.
Because there was one that come out there that drove a little silver Jeep Liberty. He was supposed to be some kin to her, supposedly. But I found out later from Jeremy Rule that he was her pill dealer.
Needless to say, Samantha's credibility has become
a lot of middle America moms do this, but like they don't even consider it to be drugs, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's just like, and in many instances, it's just because like they don't have access to like prescription drugs in that same way that like wine moms in Martha's Vineyard have. You know what I mean?
Did they say what pills it was?
No, but I'm assuming like oxys or some shit. Probably.
Becoming increasingly questionable.
You remember about what time it was when you went to bed?
I looked up at the clock and it was like 12:01, and I was like, yeah, you've got to get to bed because you have to be up in 5.5 hours.
Sure.
Samantha says she and Dagan went to bed at midnight, contrary to the 11 o'clock time she gave a responding officer at the scene of the crime, as you may recall. Already, her story is beginning to change.
What's your first memory of what's going on? What's happening?
Well, I took an Ambien, so it makes it a little harder for me to wake up. And I have a prescription with me if you want to see that. But when I can't sleep, it's supposed to shut your brain down so you can go to sleep, but also make it to where you can wake up fairly easy.
Samantha gives 2 more inconsistent statements back to back. When someone gives inconsistent statements, it can be a red flag that someone is lying. After telling one lie, there are likely additional lies that must be told to support the original lie. It can be difficult to keep track of everything they've already said,
you can't stop.
So liars may get tripped up on details and give conflicting information. It's possible that after she made the first statement about having a hard time waking up, she may have been worried about how that made her look, especially being a parent to 5 young children. She may be trying to backtrack because she wants to be viewed in a good light, so that her story about Dagan is believed.
Of course. I remember at some point it was a little after 1, I saw the clock. Maybe on my phone. So it's still pretty foggy because it's fairly early to wake up after taking a sleeping pill.
Nothing adds up, considering she'd taken a prescription sleeping pill and was woken up suddenly. She shows little emotion and talks as if she's reading from a script. Individuals who've been traumatized rarely remember details in this way. Of course, this could be explained as Samantha trying to give the investigator as much information as possible in an attempt to find her kidnapped husband. However, the fact that Samantha has repeatedly given confirmation to the investigator that he can double-check her story, such as verifying her Ambien prescription, suggests that Samantha is trying to preemptively dismiss any suspicions the investigator might have about her story.
They said, do you want us to have to kill her too? And he said, no, please don't harm my kids. And they hit him in the mouth. Are my kids okay? And they hit him in the mouth, and he said we wouldn't touch a child. And
what?
It flew out of his mouth. I don't know if it was a tooth or if it was just spit or blood. Something flew out of his mouth because they had the lights on down there. And that's when they started cutting my clothes off and making me stand in front of him naked.
This part of the story seems to be fabricated. The sweater she claimed to have been wearing had no obvious cuts.
She didn't recognize the voice or nothing about
I tried listening to everything. They forced him to tell me not to call the police. And he said, don't call the police. And they punched me in the mouth with the gun. And said, that's not what I said for you to tell her. He said, please tell me what to say again. Please just repeat it. So they repeated it. I couldn't understand what they were saying because they were so
Typical YouTube actor, by the way.
close to his face and growling in his ear.
Not you, Ray. You're a great actor.
Thanks.
He said, Sam, don't call the police. I don't care what happens. Don't call the police because they'll come back and they'll kill
Yeah,
him.
she's acting like a YouTuber apology video.
Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, she's trying too hard to live her acting dreams.
However, the 5 children nearby remained asleep through all of the chaos. The police, as well as Samantha's aunt, will scrutinize this assertion later.
I know you said something about some money or...
Yeah. He said, what do I have to do? Please don't tell me what I have to do. And he said, $20,000. You want to know what you have to do? Can you come up with $20,000 in the next 5 minutes? And he's kind of laughed.
Now, what did the handgun look like?
It was just black. I don't know anything about guns.
Do you know the difference between like a revolver and an automatic?
Oh, it was definitely like a police pistol. It was whatever those are.
Semi-automatic, so it wasn't a...
It was small, barely bigger than his hand.
You may recall that she had specific questions for the corporal at the crime scene.
What kind of gun is that? What kind of gun is
She's just an enthusiast, man. Give her a break.
The investigator now shifts the
Average
conversation
Texan
to a
woman.
different aspect of routine investigation. It could very well be that this is where things start moving in an undesirable direction for Samantha.
Actually, you two weren't fussing, you weren't fighting, you didn't get out of hand, you didn't punch him, kick him, stab him, shoot him, nothing like that. I'm not going to find out anything any different later once we get there, because the deputies, they're out there right now, basically searching your house from top to bottom for every piece of physical evidence that we can find to do.
Anything that'll help them find it.
It could be a red flag that there appears to be a verbal and nonverbal disconnect here. She's shaking her head no while giving her permission for detectives to search her house. Partway through this statement, she switches to nodding her head yes, possibly realizing that she made a mistake.
Well, actually, that's why I want to make sure, because we're going to be checking your phone records, your family's phone records.
Normally, when the police want to search something, the Fourth Amendment requires them to obtain a search warrant. Otherwise, the search is unconstitutional, and the evidence they obtain will be tossed out of court. However, the police can obtain certain types of records without a search warrant. For example, the police could get a suspect's call records from their phone company. Normally, this record will only show the police what numbers a person called and at what time.
I need to know the truth. I have to absolutely know the truth, that you had no possible involvement in this whatsoever.
No.
You love her?
I didn't. I wouldn't have gone back if I didn't.
What all are you willing to do to help me find him?
Whatever it takes.
You don't know where he is?
No, I don't.
Cap.
I wish I did.
You're positive?
I'm positive.
You have absolutely no idea where he's at.
No, I don't.
You know who we can call to find where he's at?
The only one I can think is because they kept bringing him up.
Dude. Oh my God. She keeps bringing redacted up so much. Holy shit. It's like, it's definitely redacted. It's definitely redacted. I'm telling you now. I mean, it seems to me like it's redacted, officers. Maybe, you should go after this redacted person, Seems to me like they're at fault here. Clearly.
I have no idea. None.
That could
Her
just be
palms
his
go up
name.
in the rogatory position.
Was
which
that an
indicates
accent?
Yes. Redacted.
What the fuck? That That came out of nowhere. Okay.
Or also like to commend you for your lack of pausing.
Okay, well, I've been pausing.
You've improved.
Confidence in her statement. Palms up while making a declarative statement is seen as a big red flag because it suggests the person is pleading with the other person to believe them and may be unsure in what they're saying.
He doesn't have any friends. I don't go out much. The one friend that I do really have lives in Silver Springs. I don't like drama. I don't like having outside chaos, so I just stay home. I'm just a stay-at-home mom.
Samantha continues to attempt to steer the investigation towards the same person she named. She portrays herself simply as a stay-at-home mom. However, her homemaking skills seem to be lacking based on the condition of her house.
God damn.
Police observe the environment in
He's just fucking daggering her. Like, he's like, Samantha's home is actually a piece of shit. Clearly, she should go back to the kitchen and learn how to cook. Jesus Christ, dude. There's no reason to fucking pile on this art. I mean, I guess she's a murderer, but like, still. You know what I mean?
They did say it was pitiful. The conditions of the kids' room.
What's pitiful is the top of the hour ad break being here, and there are plenty of people who are not subscribed because they're about to see a 3-minute ad break.
Oh no.
That's right. But fear not. If you no longer want to see those ads, chat, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. All right. Let's continue.
The home is obviously not fit for children. In a report later drafted by investigator Chris Bragg, who is currently questioning Samantha, vivid details of the
Sleep is
terrible
awesome. Thank you for the
conditions in
5.
the Ibarra household are laid out.
Jay Hopper, thank you for the 5.
The rooms are unclean and unsanitary, with trash, urine, feces, clothes, and dirty diapers scattered on the floor.
Jesus Christ.
I'm obsessed with like making sure an animal is being taken care of the way it deserves to be taken care of. They're like children. They can't take care of themselves.
Ask me about my Weena.
Chris
Thank you for the
describes
10
the
gifted.
children as dressed in dirty clothes and appearing
Oh.
not to have been bathed recently. We pick back up as Chris continues to press Samantha.
When I'm watching this guy punch him in the face with a gun over and over.
How'd that make you feel?
Horrible.
Ask me Dev, thank you
I
for
was
the 5.
hysterically blowing.
So it didn't make you feel glad or
No.
there's some torture in there?
No.
Because you told me that you felt good about, wanting to stab him, kill him.
At some point in time, everybody loses their temper, but have I ever acted out and hurt anybody? No. And you can look at my record on that.
When she says you can look at my record, this is what is known as a convincing statement. When someone is lying, they may make statements such as this that sound compelling in order to convince the other person.
I
However,
did that all
someone
of
who's
the
telling
time
the
in
truth is
Among Us.
What? Yeah, why would you also say, like, you could check my record on that to a cop in that situation? Like, it makes no sense.
She's trying to appear confident in her innocence.
An actually truly innocent person would not even consider trying to come across as convincing, though. Like,
yeah, that's why
an
she's
innocent
guilty.
person is never going to turn around and be like, oh, definitely ask anybody. Like, everyone always says I'm the least domestically abusive woman on the planet. You know what I mean?
less likely to use convincing statements because the facts are on their side.
I have one count of criminal mischief, and that was because I tossed my keys to somebody and let them use my car.
Sure.
And they didn't have a license.
Now, when they cut your shirt off of you, was it violent, or they just took
Yes.
their time and just?
No, they jerked it out and started slashing at it with this apparently dull box cutter, and then when it didn't work, ripped it off over my head and threw it to the side.
So it wasn't completely cut in half, or anything?
No, they started cutting like they were going to cut it down or across, and the blade wasn't working, so they said and ripped it off over my head.
But as far as tonight, you had nothing to
How'd she know the
don't know who did it.
the attention to detail is crazy. I mean, she's just she's the
She doesn't have any cuts or anything.
She's the OG.
Crazy.
She is the greatest home invasion victim of all time to notice that the box cutters that they were using, or the thing that they were using to cut her shirt off, was a box cutter, but not only a box cutter, but a dull one. I mean, that's crazy. It's wild to be on Ambien, get woken up in the middle of the night, and then recognize all these details. I mean, that's wild.
No.
You're positive about that?
Yes.
Well, what I need you to do for me is make me a list of everybody, you know, friends, family, contact numbers, his boss, where he works at Little Caesars, his boss where he works at the Talcott Woodcraft.
The investigator exits the room and leaves Samantha to her list. A few minutes later, Sheriff Tim Ingram enters the room and tries his hand at getting to the truth with Samantha.
And this is why that it's very important, honey, that we want you to be honest, because I'm going to tell you what, the evidence we found on the scene, it's just not matching. I don't think you harmed this boy, but I think you know who did, because if somebody's going to kidnap him, why is there his blood in y'all's pickup? Kidnappers ain't going to use their pickup to do something with him and then put him out there and put him in the truck and haul him back.
In his pickup, his blood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody, it's apparent to me that somebody used his truck.
When someone is feeling
guilty
especially
cough?
anxious, their mouth and throat may become
Is
dry.
that a thing? Like,
Yeah, it's a thing.
I feel like a lot of the body, a lot of like the body movement stuff is not like an exact science. It's just they just kind of the body language shit is like.
Wait, really? Because when you're nervous and stuff, your hands will get clammy. Yeah, that's a reaction. I feel like if you're, really stressed,
I mean, it's definitely
your throat probably dries up.
pseudoscientific because it's like, okay, as much as I love this kind of stuff, as much as I love reacting to this kind of stuff, the reality is that in many circumstances, cops absolutely utilize pseudoscience to justify convictions, and they just use it as like additional evidence when in fact, like, it's never. Everything beyond DNA is often filled to the brim with a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes, like, for example, people laugh when they're coping. Sometimes people deal with things differently, so it is difficult to assume that someone's body language means something for sure.
I mean, she's definitely guilty as sin, but I think it's usually what ends up helping in a lot of these circumstances is just conflicting testimony and like hard evidence in the form of like CCTV footage, phone, like your phone pinging, DNA, or at least like DNA evidence nowadays. Like all that stuff is basically the real deal. The other shit's usually just like, in most circumstances, the other stuff is just like a way to beef up your argument.
Yeah, it's because we already know the result of this video. So when we see her coughing, we just assume it's because she's guilty.
Yeah.
Prior, which can lead to increased throat clearing, swallowing, or coughing. If any of these behaviors start or increase suddenly, it can be a sign to detectives that they're on the right track and need to question the suspect further. Samantha's cough here could be related to this. She may be panicked about the news that blood was found in his truck, and the cough is an attempt to reduce the discomfort and dryness she feels in her throat.
To take him somewhere after he was assaulted at y'all's house.
I told him that they got into his truck because they wanted his ID. Because they said they needed to verify 100% they had the right person, is what they said. I don't know if they were one of the people that hit him or not. They sent somebody out to the truck to get his wallet to check his ID. Came back in and said, yes, he is who he says he is.
Okay, but that still don't explain why his blood is in that truck.
They hit him in the face like 100 times.
Well, no, but you said they went out and did it and got it. He was never supposed to be in that truck.
If they had blood on their hands and got in the truck.
No, it's drip blood. It's not.
It's drip blood?
Yes, he was in that truck. And this is what's going to look so bad is from your story. And this is why you don't have to be a suspect. And I still don't think you did it. I don't think you're strong enough to do it. But I personally, I think you're scared. I don't know if you had a boyfriend that you found out about.
The investigator is attempting to establish the existence of accomplices, and from there, the existence of one or more conspiracies.
I didn't have a boyfriend.
Okay. I don't know what the deal is, but Sam, you've got your kids in the same room.
It's telling that Samantha says she's being as honest as she can. This may be another convincing statement. It sounds reasonable, but someone who's telling the entire truth likely wouldn't feel the need to make claims about being an honest person. In addition, Samantha's statement here may have some level of truth to it. She's being as honest as she can be without incriminating herself. Adding on "as I can" may be an exclusion qualifier, which allows her to tell the detective some of what happened while withholding information about her specific role in the crime.
There's just the whole layout of your house and the way you said they took him. It's just not making sense.
The interrogator is doing a good job of appearing neutral. Despite the evidence pointing to Samantha being dishonest with him, he makes it out as if he is on her side. The more she trusts the detective, the more likely she will be to confess.
Okay. All right. Finish writing your statement. We'll go back with you, okay? You need something to drink?
He left with my phone. Where did he take that?
Well, we've got a search warrant for your phone. That phone's going to be ours for a while. Because the calls, every call you've made probably in the past year, we're gonna have to look at.
Okay.
Your text message, everything. So we've got a search warrant for your phone. Okay?
Okay. I'm telling you everything I know.
The wild part about this always is like, did you watch the latest JCS?
I think so.
Like the one where the woman was like so annoying all the way to the end, and she's like, "All right, well, time to go home now." And they're like, "No, you're going to jail."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just entitlement.
Oh,
like,
the suitcase video.
Yeah, the suitcase lady. Like the sense of entitlement goes bananas mode for some of these people, where they just literally think like, "I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Can I get my phone back to make another order for food? My biscuit and gravies haven't come back." You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, no, lady, you're going to jail, dog. Like, no, they have a search warrant on your fucking phone. Like, you did a murder.
That white woman privilege right there.
I mean, it's just, it's a white lady debuff.
Entitled.
Repeating everything they've said.
Okay. Well, just go ahead and do you got your statement. We'll get back with you in a minute, okay?
You can look at my record. I'm not somebody that gets into trouble.
Sit right there and told me the same story just like you're telling me. And, they tried to convince me. And in the end, when the evidence come in, they sat there and we knew all along they were lying. We knew all along the story.
Oh, shit. Oh, he's giving it up. He's giving the game up a little bit. He's flexing.
Yeah.
He's flexing. That's BM. That's BM. You haven't cooked her yet. He's doing like a Chekhov's gun, you know what I mean? He's like, a lot of times we always know that they're lying, but we listen to them nonetheless.
Detectives want suspects to think they know more than they actually do, or that they're about to find some crucial piece of evidence, leaving suspects panicking about how much police actually know. Investigators want suspects to feel the time pressure to confess, implying that it's in the suspect's best interest to do so before it's too late.
I will be the first person to come forward because I want it found.
So let me ask you something. How did you call for help if you was tied up?
I used my nose.
So they didn't take your phone in. They left your phone there.
They asked me if I had a phone, and I told them no. And they asked him,
So how'd you get to it? How'd you get to
I
it?
wiggled on my side.
Where was it? Where was
I
it?
was on this side of the upstairs, and it was shoved up underneath the edge of the bed on this side of the upstairs.
Who did you call?
My mother was the first number on my call list. I just used my face. And
So instead of calling 911 for help, you called your mother?
how do you press 911 with your face?
Well, how did you dial your mother with your face?
I didn't dial my mother. I just pushed the first thing that was on there. It had just happened to be my mom.
Although Samantha may believe this is a reasonable explanation, you'll encounter another witness who will tell the sheriff's office that they observed Samantha with her phone simply laying on her lap in the aftermath of the attack. Next, the sheriff wants to hear about what's been going on in Samantha's personal life.
Well, Now see, here's something else I don't understand. Maybe you can help explain to me. You talked about how much you love Ernie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But though you're talking to Brian, you're talking to Alan.
Oh,
I'm not
damn.
allowed to have friends because I'm.
Oh my God. Okay,
wow.
this actually does make sense as to why the cops are so skeptical of her, because they basically see her as like they just see her as like a bad woman, a harlot. You know what I mean? Like that's probably part of the reason why they were like, yeah, okay.
Oh no.
A Jezebel.
No, not that kind of friend. When people like you, no. Do you think that's normal for married people to?
In
have
the
friends
world
like that?
nowadays, in general, I think more people our age. I wish I could marry somebody like my dad. He's great to my mother. There's nobody else ever that could turn his eyes from her. He's the perfect husband.
Okay.
God knows I didn't marry one. He cheated
Oh
on
shit.
me more than once.
Oh, that's a double.
I think
That's
every
a
once in a while to hear.
that's a throw right there.
Yeah,
That's a
she's
throw.
giving
You just
a
gave the
reason.
motive. She literally went from being in like the cops are suspecting that she is, you know, indecent and perhaps a harlot, if I do say so myself, maybe a Jezebel. And then she fucking turned around and was like, no, actually my husband is cheating on me. He sucks. I hate him. Of course, not enough to murder, but like I do hate him. My missing husband that I'm supposed to think is currently not dead. Yeah, that's a big throw. Big throw.
Hear that I'm beautiful and to hear that I am an attractive person and that I am not the most horrible person in the world. It's nice.
This could be an attempt to not only justify her actions in talking to other guys, but it could also be a deliberate attempt to portray her husband in a negative light.
Also, cops will 100%, even the most hog-like cops are going to use this as an opportunity, as we both know, as we all know, as you know, investigation specialists here, to be like, oh, maybe it was self-defense, because when they catch her in a when they try to when they try to lead her towards the self-defense argument, it ultimately will turn into conflicting testimony, in which case it's over. It's a wrap.
She's hinting toward verbal abuse by claiming that he would tell her how horrible she is. This seems especially unusual given the fact that her husband is still missing. Most people would avoid speaking ill of a loved one who's missing or recently deceased. She may be setting up a possible defense if it's later proven that she was involved in his disappearance.
Did Ernie ever look at your phone?
Yes, all the time.
Did he see those messages where you've been talking to them guys?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Nothing. He didn't particularly like it, but after what he put me through, he told me as long as I didn't bring anything home or do anything at the house, then he didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to know about it. And I told him, I'm not cheating on you. Yeah, these guys tell me I'm beautiful and they tell me that I'm, you know, and I go out to my mom's house and I go to the bar and I go dancing.
Earlier, Samantha claimed that she didn't go out much and was just a stay-at-home mom. Now that detectives are questioning her about the guy she was talking to, she suddenly changes her story. She may have given the first statement because it supported the narrative she was trying to weave, about how she was a homebody who didn't know anyone who could be involved in her husband's disappearance. However, now that detectives have evidence of her text with other guys, she needs to support this new narrative.
And yeah, I may have a little too much to drink and someone says, hey, can I have your number? And I may give it to them.
Oh my God.
Samantha seems preoccupied with others.
That's insane, dude.
I
What
can't
the
believe
fuck?
she has 5 children.
Like, yeah. Well,
Acts
that
like
just means she
this.
likes to fuck, right? That's
Get a divorce. What
And
is this? What kind
and
of
she
relationship?
absolutely hates using protection. We know 2 things. Samantha Wolford loves the fuck, number 1, and she hates condoms, okay? No one discussed in these videos have been formally diagnosed by EWU, and our psychological analysis is based on the general behaviors and traits of the people discussed.
Recognizing her as beautiful, given her repeated use of the word to describe herself. This could be a possible indication of her having narcissistic traits.
Anyway, sorry, like this little button came up on the corner of my screen and I pushed it. Now my lighting is different and it's making my face look all splotchy and I don't know that I like it. I'm a little vain, I guess.
A narcissist requires excessive...
Yeah, I mean, she's a YouTuber. Yeah, like, unlike Twitch streamers, everybody knows this is how YouTubers are, okay? Like, just kidding. Not you.
I mean, technically, you're a YouTuber too.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am not
So
a YouTuber.
vain.
I'm a Twitch streamer, which is so much worse, to be honest.
True.
Of admiration. She may have felt like she didn't get the recognition from her husband that she felt entitled to. So she sought out that attention from other men.
The channel goes wild with the overreaching law. I mean, yeah, they do. Like, that one is a bit of a stretch. Like, or it's like an obvious thing that I wouldn't take to the level of like, oh, this is definitely like a narcissist. Or if she is, I feel like that clip of her being like, oh, you know, I clicked on the corner of a button and or I clicked on a button and now my face is splotchy, whatever the fuck she said. Like, that's not enough to definitely prove that she is nice gold plaque behind you. Fuck. That's I stole that from someone else. It's not mine.
You might want to just go ahead and write in there after you talk about what happened to that. You might just want to talk about and put in there that you have been friends with, because who's to say one of these guys didn't set it up to try to get you where you're single and I can come in and get you and just use that as a ploy.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I may know something without even realizing I know something.
The detective is laying groundwork for the theme development stage of the read technique by suggesting that one of the men who was interested in her had something to do with her husband's disappearance. If she can admit to this possibility, it will be easier for her to later admit to having knowledge of it, and then eventually to her confessing that she was actively involved. When the sheriff mentions that perhaps one of her male acquaintances set this up to make her single, she grasps at this idea as another motive. She may be realizing her story and acting aren't going over as well as she'd imagined. Once again, she's the victim. It seems she'll do anything to deflect attention from herself.
In October, things blew up. He laid his hands on me.
Oh, dude, the detective's gonna cook her on this. I'm telling you, detectives love this shit. New lore unlocked, immediately he's gonna be like, oh yeah, well, if he's a detective worth his salt, he will immediately turn around and be like, you could be a victim in this circumstance. I mean, that's something that we're willing to work out. Seems like you were victimized quite a bit by this big bad man. You know what I mean? Boom. Immediately lead her down the self-defense angle to trap her, because all of a sudden, now you got conflicting testimony. Boom, blammo, it's over. She's toasted.
I put criminal trespass on him, not on his sister, because she was acting crazy and harassing me. My friend David Smith had talked to me earlier, said he might come by later that night. I told him it was probably not the best idea. Why? Ernie gonna be there?
Who's this David Smith?
He called in and reported that he was there. Then when he realized that I intended on giving him the chance to be the better person he says he's gonna be, and to go through the criminal trespass or the anger management courses and go through and do what he says he's going to do, and I'm going to give him that chance out of home on his own without having a judge to force him to do it.
So Ernie's got a lot of anger issues.
Yes,
is he jealous?
severe. Yes.
Is he very jealous of you?
This is different than what she said earlier about how Ernie told her she could do whatever with whomever, as long as it wasn't at their house. Samantha appears to...
You know what he's called? We're in a polycule, officer. Mr. Detective, sir. Yeah, that's right. I like to put on a fursuit sometimes. Get wild with it. You didn't see it in the house, but I got one of them fursuits. You know, it's called a polycule. Call up our boy. His name is Sneeko. He does YouTube as well. Just sits there and watches. Okay, sorry. Let's continue.
Enjoy being in the role of the damsel in distress and having David Smith and these other men come and save her from her allegedly abusive husband. This is another example of Samantha's need for attention, which is common among individuals with narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes. David Smith, hit him up because me and him had been hanging out. I hadn't intended on ever hearing from Dagan again, Ernie. I had never intended on speaking to him again. He cheated on me and he laid his hands on me. I was done. Well, his sister talked his way back in, and he said he loves you, blah, blah, blah. He wants to be with you. Well, I was on a Skype conversation with him, and David was at the house, and he heard it.
What'd he do?
Damn, he's risen on Skype. That's crazy. That's a different level of horniness right there. When you're getting rizzed up on Skype, dude, really? It's like one step removed from getting rizzed up on Zoom calls, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, that's right. We're on Skype conversations, you know. I mean, it is. Oh yeah, this is right. It is 2015. Still, Skype is weird to rizz up on.
He got freaking furious and started freaking out on me and treating me like crap and threatening me. David, this guy that was a friend and only a friend, wanted to be with me. And when he realized that I had intended on going back to my husband, he freaked out.
I need to find out where David lives. If you say he lives close to you, I need to find out where he lives at.
Uh-oh. David's going to jail, brother.
Hey, there is one other way that we can make absolutely sure and clear you. We can give you a polygraph test.
What?
Would you mind me speaking to my...
First of all, a polygraph test? Dude, Texas is so barbaric. I swear to God. Like, that shit is so dumb. I can't believe cops still use that. It's insane, okay? It's insane. Those things are such fucking bullshit. They're completely inadmissible in court for obvious fucking reasons. It's just ridiculous.
Hasan,
What's up?
the stream stopped working in Discord.
Wait, it did?
Mm-hmm.
No, I just paused it.
Oh, it has a loading thing for me and an exclamation point.
Here, I'll turn it off and then on again. Do it one more time. Here you go.
The polygraph can also pressure people to confess to something.
Look at you. You got cop brain.
Yeah.
Polygraph is using a vibe check for evidence. Yeah, I mean, it's no different.
My mother before I completely agreed to that.
Well, but now if you have nothing to hide, why would you want to talk to your mama?
Because it's nothing against you personally, but just cops in general. You hear such negative things and how they are not out to help you, and CPS is the same way. And I just kind of want to get my mom and dad's opinion on if it's in my best interest.
You know what?
How about instead of your mom and dad, you get a legal opinion? You know what I mean? Like, you do have the right, and you should. She's like, let me ask my mom. The fuck do you mean? Like, literally call a lawyer instead. Anyway, let's just...
You know what I think? I think it's not going to be long. I think they're locking your butt up, what I think. I think you've been lying to me this whole thing. You did get them right.
Wow, dadgum! He's a dadgum guy, and he said, he's a dadgum guy, and he said, but you know he's pissed.
He's
You
old
know-
ting.
What?
He's old ting.
No, he got mad. Yeah, we're going to be locking your dadgum butt up.
And I think you're a liar, what I think. I think you know exactly who did this. Now, mind your freaking story for a minute. That's what I think.
Your freaking
So I tell
story.
you what, let's do. Let's just get on with it.
It seems that the interrogator's anger is an intended tactic here.
No, it's
it evokes
not.
the desired reaction from
No, it's not. That is not an intended tactic. He got pissed. He got pissed that she's not collaborating. And he just popped off. A person who says dadgummit is never going to use the B word. Okay? But unless they're like legitimately upset. There's no fucking shot.
I think it's a tactic.
No, she pulled a cab and he got mad. He's like, there's nothing cops hate more than being told that they're not doing a good job. That's it. They immediately, they just like fall back into, they like lose their minds immediately. I think if anything, her tactic of pissing him off worked better.
He said butt and freaking. I feel like it's a tactic. If you
No, I
wouldn't
think
you have
I
said
think
worse
for a cop,
words?
I think for a cop that says "dad gummit," for them to say "butt" and "freaking" means that they're pissed off. I've had it up to here with this, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Levels of white anger ranked. Son of a gun. All right, bucko. You just hold your horses. Well, now just wait a minute. Newsflash, pal, and then listen here, buddy.
Not to listen here, buddy.
Yeah, when you pull out the listen here, buddy, you know, dadgummit, things are about to go south.
No.
Okay? And I don't mean like that rat's ass Sherman. Okay? Things are about to go south in a not a good way. Okay. All right, let's continue. Sorry for derailing.
Samantha, but it can also be a setback to the overall interrogation's progress. Any trust created is now gone. This is a change-up used only when there is overwhelming evidence against the suspect. Hearing this, Samantha may be experiencing the freeze response here. Her body is completely still, with her mouth hanging open. When someone senses danger, such as Samantha realizing here that police don't buy her story one bit, they may cease all movement. This is an instinctual response to danger. Movement invites attention, so freezing may make someone momentarily feel like they can lower the spotlight on them.
That's why I say I've tried to really be honest with you.
And that's why
I feel that you have done nothing
now and
but sit
trying
here
to help.
this whole time. If I'm gonna tell you right now, DPS is damn good to them. If you ain't got nothing to hide, and what bothers me is you even hesitate to take that knowing it would positively clear you or to positively show that you're hiding something. But what's going to make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in here.
The sheriff indicates that lying will essentially make her guilty. This is somewhat misleading. Though, as stated previously, the police are legally allowed to mislead suspects so long as they do not coerce them into a confession.
That part is so fucked up. Like, God. I mean, which, by the way, that's fucked up. But as far as we understand, it's even worse in Canada, which is surprising. A lot of other countries have literally worse rules on interrogation than even in the United States of America. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I think in Canada, they don't even need to tell you that you can get a lawyer. Like, they're just straight up also allowed to lie, but also they don't even tell you need to get a lawyer or you can get a lawyer. There's no Miranda rights. So you just, they can like legally lie to you and they don't have to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not even true anymore since cops can no longer be sued. Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court's Miranda decision further guts the 150-year-old civil rights law. Yeah, they also took away a piece of that too, right? Yeah, the June 23rd decision bars lawsuits against police for using evidence obtained without advising people of their rights. The Miranda warnings the court mandated nearly 60 years ago are basically gone. It's still admissible. So I guess it doesn't matter in America either, no longer.
Nevertheless, the inconsistencies between Samantha's statements and the evidence could be used to suggest that she is aware of her own guilt and is using lies to cover it up. Therefore, the investigator is trying to establish knowledge of guilt, or more commonly referred to as consciousness of guilt. This is most often established by circumstantial evidence related to the suspect's actions or inactions after a crime.
That is the case that I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope, it sure don't. No, that makes you a scared mother with children.
Interestingly, Samantha asked the sheriff about being an accomplice. The law usually treats accomplices just as it would principals.
I recommend you do your research for claiming Canada does do that. Oh, maybe it's not the Miranda rights, but instead that they don't have to stop the investigation, or they don't have to stop the interrogation when you do request a lawyer. What is it? Which one is it? It's one or the other. But I know for a fact that in Canada, even if you ask for a lawyer, they can just continue they can continue interrogating you. Like, they don't stop. They can just keep questioning you.
So if you request a lawyer and they keep questioning you and you don't, without your lawyer,
No, they can't.
you
Not true. They read a charter and caution here. They have to read a charter and caution. No, they can't. Okay, let's take a look. I've literally seen this happen. So
should I come back in 30 or
no. It's okay. After you speak to a lawyer, the police may continue to ask you questions. Even if you say you do not want to answer, they can continue to ask. However, you have the right to remain silent, and you do not have to answer. Unlawful interrogations. No. Not. It's United States. Wait. Yeah, look. The right to counsel. It's time for Canada to allow lawyers into the interrogation room. This is in 2021. Many Canadians are likely familiar with Miranda rights from watching American movies. A police officer detains a suspect and immediately says you have a right to remain silent, blah, blah, blah. Canadians might be surprised, however, to hear that one of these rights, the right to have a lawyer present during a police interview, currently does not exist on this side of the border. Yeah. In Canada, you have a right to consult a lawyer, and just like in the U.S., you do not have a right to consult with a specific lawyer of a defendant's choice in either of the countries. The main difference here is that you have a right to have a lawyer present during questioning and interrogation in the United States, but not in Canada. You also have a right to halt questioning for a second consultation with a lawyer in the United States, not in Canada. You have a right to consult with a lawyer a second time in the United States, but not in Canada. And you have a right to in-person consultation with a lawyer in the United States, but not in Canada. Yeah. This is also important. This is important to understand because these can critically change the outcome of an investigation. So you're not forced to answer and they have to read that charter and caution is all I'm saying. No, you didn't just say that. You also said that I was wrong on the other lawyer thing. Okay, Luke the Llama, Mr. Defender of Canada. Have fun with your healthcare getting eviscerated and privatized, by the way. Sorry.
What? You're already right. Relax.
It doesn't matter.
Relax.
Oh, sorry. Also, the queen owns you. I mean, she's dead, so the king owns you now.
Oh my God, he's tripling down.
Yeah, Commonwealth ass. I'm just kidding.
The damage has been done.
No, I'm just messing around. I'm sure the chatter knows I'm kidding. I love Canada. All right, let's keep going.
Meaning that accomplices can face exactly the same legal penalties. Most states hold a person criminally liable if they aid or abet another in the commission of a crime. The classic example of this is a getaway driver for a bank robbery. Importantly, this is a distinct concept from conspiracy. A conspiracy is when two or more people make an agreement to commit a crime, and at least one individual within the group takes some overt act towards committing the crime. In such a case, all conspirators are criminally liable for the conspiracy.
The only other thing I know, I don't even know, I know,
okay,
but it's a suspicion.
Okay.
I've been up at the hospital with my friend Charlotte.
Okay.
And she's got a guy there, and I swear to God, I cannot go up there that I said any of this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, and my life will be in a lot of danger.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is that
She altered her. What you fail to recognize is that this white lady had already ulted multiple times throughout this process. And everyone knows with each ult, you end up getting the ultimate buff nerfed time and time again. By the third ult, you have approximately 75% less damage.
talking to her. about problems like I just told you. I have a problem with talking to my friends about our problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many of them. So when I do get with one of my
He does
friends,
not.
I'll talk about
Okay.
He does not give a
But
fuck.
honestly, it hasn't been many. We have
Like,
had
sure,
problems,
lady.
and I haven't seen
All
Charlotte
right,
in a long
okay.
time.
Okay, come on with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he gets
That's fucked up.
talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way, and how you don't do those things to a person, and he's gonna deal with the situation. I didn't take him seriously.
Okay, you see, Sam, you know who did this, but that does not make
But I
you
don't
guilty. I'm
have any
still.
proof that he did. I just have what he said.
Okay, who is this guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His Facebook is Rebel. John Rebel. It's John.
Damn, that man's at Titus County. That man's at Titus County 7 right there. Hard 7. Dude, John Rebel, that's a sick fucking name.
I don't truly know his last name, but his Facebook says John Rebel.
At this point, it seems Samantha's crying could be attributed to the fact that her story isn't yielding the results she'd hoped for, rather than because Dagan is missing. This behavior is consistent with her narcissistic tendencies. At this time, Samantha first mentions an acquaintance known as John Rebel. Herein begins a turning point in this complex story, as a new persona begins to evolve.
He's got a brother named Greg. He's got a really bad history as far as...
Who's Greg?
I was told he's an informant.
What?
I don't know Greg's last name
Where
either.
does John live?
I don't know. I know that he's been staying with Charlotte.
So if he did this, who do you think he'd bring with him?
Me.
I don't know any of his friends. But yesterday at the hospital, he had a guy that I do know from town with him. His name is Tay.
So many dudes.
Tay Rhymes.
Samantha is beginning to let all of the cats out of the bag. In just a few short minutes, she's implicated John Rebel, who will soon be identified as John Sanford, and Tay, whom investigators will learn is a man by the name of Octavius Rhymes. The pace of the investigation is beginning to accelerate and will continue to pick up speed as the disturbing details begin to surface.
Did they do something to let you know that it was them inside that house?
Not 1,000% particular, but I'm pretty sure it was him. The height and the weight and the way he was talking all gangster.
You pull yourself together and get to writing, and we need to arrest these folks and keep them off the street where they can't hurt you and your children.
There was a third person with him.
Okay, who do you think it was?
He's got people that's staying with him.
Who, John Rebel?
When they were in the hospital together. Before this happened in my house,
Yes.
Tay was with him. There
Uh-huh.
was another guy. I don't know his name.
He's
But he pretty much fits the middle of the third guy.
There was 3 people?
Yes, at the house there was 3 people. And at the hospital yesterday, you can look at the cameras, there was 3 people.
So they'll have them on the video camera there at the
At
hospital?
the hospital, yes.
Okay.
There was Tay and that guy and this third party. The one that I said was basically like the ringleader that was bossing everybody around. The other 2 really didn't talk much other than a word here and there. But it was the big guy, the third party that was at the hospital.
She claims not to have known the third man at the hospital, but she's prepared to shift all of the blame in his direction.
The only thing I know about the heavy-set dude is they called him JoJo, but they told me that wasn't his name. I believe they said it was Jose.
Samantha reveals quite a bit about this third person. Samantha gives a detailed story about where JoJo lives and knows that everybody calls him JoJo, despite saying just moments ago that she just met these individuals. Also, another significant item to note. Do you recall when the corporal at the scene learned of a ping on Dagan's phone from dispatch?
0.86 miles from a residence in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
He asked Samantha if she knew anyone in Pittsburgh, and she had no reply. Well, it turns out she did. Tay and JoJo were both residing in Pittsburgh.
Yada yada does
She
it.
heads out for a smoke break as members of the sheriff's office prepare to head to the local hospital, determined to intercept.
Damn, they gave her a smoke break for all the leaks, dude. Yada yada does it mentioned.
A good thing.
I love the new IAA. It's so funny, chat. So stupid.
2 suspects that have been frequenting Charla's room
All
for
right, Ray,
days.
you keep him occupied.
Both
I gotta
John
pee
and
real quick.
JoJo were apprehended at the hospital at 9:39 a.m. As you'll see, each interrogation will be damning, to say the least. The clock now reads 10:10 a.m. The other party that was picked up at the hospital by the sheriff's office, a man by the name of John Sanford, a.k.a. John Rebel, is seated in the interrogation room. He's dressed in black pants and a black long-sleeve shirt. The clothes match Samantha's description of the assailant's dress provided to law enforcement. Clearly, John is quite comfortable here. He may be thinking that if he engages with law enforcement, they'll believe him or go easy on him.
John, you know what this is about, buddy. You know exactly what it is. You know what happened over at Samantha's house last night. That's what we want to talk to you about, okay? I'm gonna randomize you. You know you're right. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, and that's fine. I hope you decide to, because I think
wish
there's
you
some
would
things you
pause the
probably need to
video.
tell
I
me.
feel like I
Your side
can't
of the
talk
story.
over it.
They see if it's gonna match Samantha's, because Samantha, I'll be honest with you, she's pointing the finger at JoJo. She said you was with him. Now, do you want to talk to me just a little bit about this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you what they're saying first, because I think you'll be honest, because
Chat, we can April Fool's prank him.
I better
Everyone
do.
be quiet.
he's dead. But now, according to Samantha, you was just a bystander. Why, JoJo beat the living crap out of him up in his room where y'all were collecting evidence.
Anytime there are multiple suspects involved in a crime, police will want to separate them as soon as possible, so they don't have a chance to get their stories aligned. Police may often plant the seed of doubt that the others are implicating them, leaving each suspect with the decision dilemma of whether to confess or remain silent. The detective is also utilizing a read technique here of placing blame on an outside source rather than on the suspect himself. This will make it easier for John to admit his involvement, because the detective is building the theme that John was just a bystander and not the main perpetrator. Additionally, in this situation, it's likely that there are no real bystanders from a legal standpoint. Under a theory of accomplice liability, if the prosecution can prove that John aided or abetted the murder of Dagan, John would be in the same legal jeopardy as the person who pulled the trigger.
Okay, this all started yesterday. Like you said, yeah, we talked to her about her problem with her husband and all that. Never did I plot to kill the guy. I have a problem with males hitting females.
Oh, no.
And I do too.
She did say that
Hasan?
there's been times
What's
it's
up?
crossed her mind.
Everyone's gone. Oh no.
What do you mean?
Chat's dead.
Did you tell him the spam?
Okay, first of all,
Dot,
why
dot,
did you
dots?
keep the video playing? I can't talk to chat when the video's playing, and I didn't even pay attention. Ever since you got up, I didn't listen to a single thing the video was playing, because I was trying to think, I was like, how am I supposed to talk to chat if the video's just playing? And then I was thinking he's probably gonna rewind this because he's not listening either. And then chat died.
Did you get them to spam it? Or that's what I thought you were going to do. I thought you were trying to pull a trick on me.
Yeah, did it?
I know how Jezebels are.
Are you calling me a harlot?
I know how women do tricks.
April Fools.
Tricksters. That was a good one.
I told them to hide.
Yeah, well, I assumed, which is why I wasn't, saying anything. But yeah, you guys got me good. Trickery is sinful, though. Never again. None of this tomfoolery. Cease with this tomfoolery.
We got him.
All right, let's continue.
Trying to do stupid shit, this and that.
Like what?
Like, basically, like, get somebody to f them off. Like, not kill them, but, like, just beat the shit out of them, set them up, shit like that, right? And I told her, I said, well, damn. I said, you're talking to somebody that could do that, but I wasn't going to, though.
John now begins his account of the previous night, beginning with a quick stop at Samantha's house.
JoJo had the keys. He was passenger seat.
In front?
Yeah, passenger.
Who was driving?
I drove because...
Okay. Who was with you?
It was me, JoJo, and
What's he doing with his hands? Why did he stand up?
Except for...
I think he's describing
know,
something.
all I know is he was related to Tay.
Yeah, because I think I know who he is.
John indicates that someone related to Tay was in the back seat and that Tay wasn't.
I feel like this is a man who's definitely has a lot of experience being handcuffed and knows that like he has to move it around a little bit to get some circulation going. Or he's just Italian and has to use his hands. One or the other. Or maybe both. I don't know. But I've actually never seen somebody who's handcuffed get up so casually, okay, and just like try to use his hands while describing a story as though he's not handcuffed. His last name is Rebel. He can't be contained. True.
With the three of them in the car.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I have seen them because I have been running around Pittsburgh, but unless they live on Cypress Street, I don't know who they are.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well, go ahead. Y'all all three together.
So
you was driving, but you didn't have the keys.
Didn't have the keys, and I really didn't have a choice because I like my life.
John seems to be trying to suggest that it was actually JoJo who was directing the scheme, and now seems to be implying that JoJo threatened him into driving. Notably, duress can be a defense to some crimes. However, it's typically...
What was your question, Ray?
I can't tell if he's handcuffed from the back or from the front.
Is
it in the back?
I think it's from the back.
Not a defense to the crime of murder. John gives his rendition of what occurred at the Ibarra home.
How's
he doing that?
I'm the only person that knows the layout to the house. So JoJo...
I mean, it's insane how much movement he's got in his hands. It is wild. Like, he's just like talking with his hands while he's handcuffed. This is a man who's definitely been handcuffed before. Okay, like a lot. It is very weird.
Like, he's got to show the other hand too, so it's just...
No, he's like, you can't contain me, I'm a rebel. Very Italian, yeah, basically.
He's like, where they sleep at? And I just walked up.
Look at him!
And told him, man, look, upstairs. They ain't go up. I have to go up in the middle. It was JoJo, me, and then the last two.
What? Like, look at him. Look at what he's doing.
He's tipping over.
He doesn't have to use his hands while he's describing this.
He has to. He has to.
No, no, words are enough to say when we
Not
go
for this
up.
man.
You don't have to, everybody knows what up is universal.
Oh,
he doesn't have to like point up.
He's tipping over. He's got to explain his side.
I can't get over this. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
If he falls out of his chair, I'm going to lose it.
And that's when all hell beat the living hell out the dude. Honestly, me personally, I do not believe Samantha really had a hand to play in it. I think that what she was saying...
No,
just
not the
kinda
table
got
grab.
Too far.
Okay, so what happened? Who beat the hell out of him?
JoJo and the other guy.
John is awkwardly using his hands as he talks, despite being handcuffed. People may increase their use of illustrators to make their lies sound more believable or give off the impression that their story is true. Jose...
That's a terrible way to no. There's so much more to the story than that. You can infer so much more about Johnny, what kind of experience he has being in handcuffs, and the fact that he's definitely Italian, okay? And all Italians are guilty. It's wild. Like, they had to address it, but not even saying that.
JoJo Ponce is in the hot seat. Needless to say, things aren't looking good for JoJo, who's now dressed in orange prison attire.
So Jonathan is...
Wait, I don't get it. JoJo's already gone to jail? Like, what the fuck's happening here?
That's just his fit.
The Mexican guy, cuff him just in case. Arrest him before we even question him, honestly.
No.
They're like, it's probably his fault.
That's awful.
I mean, what the hell? Why is he already
He's
in
just
a
wearing-
jumpsuit?
It must just be an orange shirt.
No.
Really he's putting this whole thing off on you. And said
Oh,
that you're
never
the one
mind.
No, he's
that-
like,
wondering.
no, he is like, you thought that was just casually his garb?
I thought maybe, okay, well, the door was open. I didn't see the rest of the fit.
I do not understand why JoJo, an hour in, is already in prison. Like, what's happening? How did they just arrest him?
Maybe he tried running from the police.
I don't.
You just say that you said something about like maybe you had a bad dope deal that went bad.
I don't even know. Matter of fact, I specifically told them when she told me who her husband was, right there in Octavius' house. When she told me his name, I told her. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know him.
Jojo said, well, what do you
No,
think
not
you can
this
do?
guy.
You think you can come up with 20 grand in 5 minutes?
John mentions that JoJo demands Dagan produce $20,000 within 5 minutes if he wants to fix things. This is almost exactly what Samantha told the police. This could be because it's true. However, if you watch Samantha's interrogation footage, it's clear that she's trying to paint the incident as drug-related.
Cause this. Asking for compensation, $20,000.
And this may simply be a story that the group concocted to tell the police.
Jojo tells me, all right, stay here and watch him. Dude's out cold. I'm talking about folded up, basically like literally like this.
Oh my God, he's animated. This dude cannot stay in one fucking spot to save his life. That's crazy. He got on his knees. Like, what the fuck?
Outside the house, they had him up against the truck, hands still behind the back, had his face down like this.
What part of the truck?
The hood of the truck.
Okay, that makes sense. That's where, okay.
The investigator catches himself here just before he almost lets out a piece of evidence. Retaining key evidence is a way to corroborate testimony and also to tie physical evidence to one or more suspects.
They went through the truck. And at this point, when I started thinking, damn, what the really going on? Because they put the dude in the back seat. So we go. We leave. As we're going, they tell me, all right, go here, whoa, I'm driving. We go all the way out to the country. Get out to the country. Next thing I know, they walk off. They're all
What's
like,
he doing?
go start the vehicle. Go start the vehicle.
He's flexible. He's flexing.
I'm like,
Oh, that was so gross to
so I
watch.
start right back to the vehicle going, in my mind process, this is my neck of the woods now.
Stop!
You know where you're at?
Sorry.
Yeah, this is my neck of the
Because we're fixing to go out there, me and you. We're going back out there. Because everything you're saying so far is matching 100%.
Before I make the vehicle, all I hear is pop.
Who's got the gun?
JoJo does.
No.
I feel like I can't believe I'm saying this. Sorry for speculating here, but it seems to me like this man is on meth, okay? I'm just going to point that out. I've never seen somebody both so comfortable in handcuffs while also simultaneously fidgeting so fucking much.
Is that a meth thing to do?
Yes.
Fidget?
It's just like he is literally, it is crazy to see someone just tweaking this fucking hard. I mean, he's tweaking harder than XQC. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, we don't know. Let's see what happens. Well, obviously, not all of us are going to see what happens because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And those who are not subscribed will not see what happens.
It's not a good one.
Okay? Oh, come on. Don't say that. Everyone's going to give me a lower score. Well, if you no longer want to see those ads, You want to see what happens? All you need to do is subscribe for $5 or free with the Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub. It's just 3-minute ad break now. Stolen labor, typical streamer. Sag, I had the meth diagnosis from the start. Yeah, it's our diagnosis now.
Note that John is named JoJo as the trigger man. As you'll see, there won't be a consensus when it comes to this brutal aspect of the crimes.
Hey, listen, man, everybody's done pointing the finger at you as being the one that pulled the trigger.
That's what I'm saying, dude, and I didn't.
Who pulled the trigger then?
Jonathan.
Despite claiming that John pulled the trigger, there are still at least 2 ways in which JoJo could still be criminally liable for the murder. First, under a theory of accomplice liability, if the prosecution can prove that JoJo aided or abetted or had the requisite intent for John's
Are you happy? I got a 4.18 out of 10 on the rating. You did that.
I did
Area, Era, Nia, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Jay Hopper, thank you for the 5 get the subs. You did that 100%, 100p.
It was me. I did it.
murder of Dagan. Second, if the prosecution can prove that JoJo had entered into an agreement with Samantha or John to carry out the murder, he could be charged with conspiracy to commit murder. The sheriff seems satisfied that he's gathered all pertinent information from John. He leads John out of the room. The next task is the somber duty of locating and recovering Dagan's body. Sheriff Tim Ingram and investigator Aaron Baxter, along with their helpful suspect, John Sanford, depart the sheriff's office as Chief Deputy John Livingston follows closely behind in Aaron's vehicle. Aaron wears a body camera to document the events that are about to transpire. Be forewarned, things are about to take a drastic turn for the worst as members of the Titus County Sheriff's Office begin to uncover the true horrors that occurred earlier that very morning.
Well, you think old Cuz went to bed after all this? You think he's home in bed? I honestly don't know. Who won't know who Cuz is other than in case the crib will talk to me? Who's going to know this guy's going to get him quick before he tries to do anything?
Almost anybody in Pittsburgh that really...
So is that his name? Is that what everybody calls him, Cuz?
The sheriff asks John, who will be able to identify the mysterious third party, known to us only as Cuz. We'll soon learn his true identity.
Yeah,
Is there a body here?
There's a body.
I'm hiding it. I'm hiding the screen.
No, they wouldn't show the body.
Oh,
It's
they
blurry,
don't show
blurry.
the body. It's blurred.
did.
Good assessment, officer.
Okay. What we need
He's
to do now...
dead.
Oh, yeah, he's dead. He's not going to be alive.
Oh.
What we need to do now is 2 of us need to break off and take him and use the recorder, and let's go get that gun.
Sadly, Dagan's body is located at 11:28 a.m. Aaron places a call to the Camp County Sheriff
They
to
didn't even
alert him
hide
of
the body.
murder
They
within
didn't
his
even
jurisdiction.
cover him up.
Meanwhile, back at the Titus County Sheriff's Office, an anxious and fidgety Samantha has returned to the interrogation room. The clock now reads 11:45 a.m. It seems Samantha hasn't been informed that Dagan was located, deceased, approximately 17 minutes earlier. While the members of the sheriff's office are locating the potential murder weapon, Samantha occupies herself by writing on the dry erase board in the interrogation room. Just as Samantha leaves the room as the clock reads 11:58 a.m., Aaron's body camera recording resumes. The sheriff, John the suspect, and the 2 investigators, Aaron and John, head to the home where the gun is believed to have been stashed. Note that the woman seated on the front step of the home is Lacona Slayton. Her connection to the case will be revealed to you shortly.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, what? Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Won't take us but a minute. We'll be done. Hey, John. Where's that guy?
It's not that they know everything, like, seriously. It's because you told them everything. That man was the greatest witness of all time. If he sees a single moment of jail time, he really fucked up. Because that, like, he was the star witness the entire time. Like, he literally cooked up the entire scheme for him. He should have gotten a fucking sweet plea deal out of that, but he was too busy twerking around and tweaking and giving him everything.
It was out here, but it's apparently not out here.
Who got it?
I don't know. Y'all arrested me.
Why ain't it out here?
I don't know. No, I swear to God, I don't know.
the box, and the box is
In a lockbox.
So you already knew the gun was involved.
No, she has no
I didn't
clue.
know about.
She has no clue about nothing.
Oh
I'm telling you that now.
So
I haven't. She has no clue about none of this.
here's the deal. All right, we need the gun. You could be charged with the same thing.
She was.
I know
here.
what the.
You could be an accomplice to murder, capital murder. That's the death penalty. So if you know where the gun's at,
She knows where the gun's at.
you
She
need
got the
to
box.
you need to go ahead and tell
Cops
them.
are wild. They're just like cops are hitting the AOE on this. Like she's like, everyone's getting a death penalty here, ma'am. Like what the fuck? You will die. I tell you what. What the fuck? It's insane. That's insane to just like. You know what? Where's your dog? Your dog is also getting death penalty. This man back here, death penalty. Do you understand me?
Told you that. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more opportunity.
Dude, you can
Give me the
handcuff
gun.
me. I don't know what
That's
to
probably
do.
fixing to happen. That's probably about to happen because I think you're a liar.
What the fuck? No, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh, this is awful.
Bro, he's like, yeah, I'm arrest everybody, lock them up. Let guys sort it out. We're doing capital punishment for all of them. Dadgummit. You're a dadgum liar. This is crazy.
In box, you've got the dead gun.
Where's the gun go then?
I don't know.
So why'd you get the box?
I don't care, man. I didn't do.
That you must be about as low life as that husband of yours.
He ain't husband.
Well, you with him. About the same thing.
Whatever.
The sheriff and Lacona are referring to JoJo here.
Oh yeah, you remember enough to go home and get that box, that gun in it, don't you?
No, I remember to come home and check the box.
But why?
So the
Why
gun's
would you
not in the
just
tent?
check it?
I don't know. Go check the tent. I don't know.
Is it okay if I check the
Yes,
tent?
it is okay.
Okay. And where's it at?
Right behind the house.
Okay.
And this other cop, they're doing the good cop, dadgummit cop. Okay? That's what they're doing. It's very effective. The good cop is like, okay, ma'am, can we check the tent, please? The other guy's like, dadgummit, you know where the dadgum gun is. That's so good.
Dramatically heated exchange with Lacona, the sheriff and Aaron head to the tent, which currently serves as Lacona's home, to attempt to locate the gun. A search in this case does not require a warrant. When someone with a controlling interest gives permission to search a premises, including a tent, it's an exception to the warrant requirement. Back at the sheriff's office, Samantha is again writing on the dry erase board. As a couple of written questions are directed at the sheriff's office, she continues to put on a show. These behaviors are once again very childlike and immature.
She's
Oftentimes,
weird.
individuals with personality disorders will display immature behaviors. In high-stress situations in particular, they often regress, and these behaviors become much more evident.
There you go, right there. I bet you. See the dope or the gun? Gun. Well,
Computer hiding his gun.
Bitch.
Why the hell would I tell you to go look in the tent?
it wasn't in the tent.
Well, I don't know where the.
All we want is the truth.
Man, I'm telling you, all I know is the guy told me that they were suspects in a murder case. The first thing that popped in my head was that gun. It was not in the box where it was always at, and I don't know what the is going on, but I want to know.
Okay, well, just like the other officer told you, we're investigating a murder. All right? There was a guy killed last night. He was executed. He wasn't supposed to have it, was he?
No.
Convicted felon or?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, that guy's got a family, and they're going to want to know what happened to their son and father. I mean, the guy's got kids, young kids. And so we're just trying to gather the facts up and get justice for this guy's family. Is there anything that you can tell me at this point that would help us with our investigation?
Other than that, if I think he would have did something like that, yeah, because he's pulled it on me before.
He's pulled the gun out on you before?
Yeah.
All right.
I know I've prayed, but damn, I didn't think I was going to split up with him like this.
This important piece of information, which was uncovered due to the officer's catch-all question, may explain why Lacona didn't reveal the gun's location. It's possible that if she did know where it was, she kept the location secret for a much different reason than avoiding trouble herself or protecting someone else. Instead, she may have been fearful of retaliation from JoJo if she talked. We've yet to hear JoJo's side of the story, but it's going to be hard to dig himself out of the hole that seems to be getting deeper by the minute. The members of the sheriff's office depart with the recovered weapon that was believed to have been used to execute Dagan. Investigator Aaron Baxter sits down with Lacona on February 24th, just 4 days after Dagan was killed. During our last encounter with Lacona, when the handgun was retrieved near the tent that served as her place of residence, she seemed to insinuate that her days with JoJo were numbered. However, she initially referred to JoJo as her fiancé at this meeting. It may be that she had a change of heart and decided against ending the volatile relationship after all. As a result, she may be less forthcoming in her interview than the sheriff's office would have hoped.
You know, the other day when we were over there with the gun, what made you think that gun was used to you just had a gut feeling?
I just had that feeling. It was a feeling because I don't know, it was just a feeling.
And you said that Jose had pointed at you before?
Yeah, in the past, but he would never, when it comes to other people, he's not mean. He's a coward. When it came to me, it was different. Other folks, he was a coward. He always backed down for fights and stuff. And I just don't understand. I don't see. I just don't understand. What? Why? JoJo didn't even know her. As far as I knew, Jonathan was the only one that knew her. Then I found out Tay's known her, Jonathan's known her. JoJo didn't know her, so why would he even? I don't know.
Lacona seems genuinely confused about the conspiracy and why JoJo would participate, seeing as he hadn't met Samantha until the day before the murder. According to future testimony provided by John, the three men smoked methamphetamine while en route to the Ibarra household.
No. What? No. That's... Oh, hold on now. This is a shocking development. A shocking development, if I do say so myself.
Ain't no way.
Perhaps this claim could explain the violent behavior seemingly uncharacteristic of JoJo.
So why don't you never found that gun in my tent? I promise you didn't.
Where you think I found it?
What?
I know exactly where you found it, which is in the spot that Jonathan hit it.
Jonathan put it there? Seriously?
Yes.
JoJo seems to believe that by knowing where it had been hidden, he can somehow pin the murder on John.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still on meth, but that is some fucking... He must be on crack if he thinks that is a good, solid defense right there. Oh, I know you didn't find it in my tent. That's my gun hunting. That's my gun hiding spot. If you found it in the tent, it's me. If you didn't find it in the tent, then, you know, that's John's hiding spot. Everybody knows this. That's right. That's so good. He's...
Jonathan pulls his pistol out and he hits him with it.
Where'd Jonathan have the pistol at?
In his waistband.
Whose pistol is it?
Jonathan's.
Where'd he get it?
Beats me.
Clearly, JoJo's story is not agreeing with John's version of events. Most significantly, JoJo claims the gun that was allegedly used to murder Dagan belongs to John, though JoJo is unsure where or how John obtained it.
All right, and the gun that we got out from under the house, that's the gun that, I guess it belonged to Jose.
It was mine. It was a gift to me from him. It was mine.
Okay.
Most importantly, perhaps, Lacona confirms that the handgun that was recovered near the tent belongs to her and JoJo, not John.
What I need to do, I've got Samantha's version.
Samantha is the ringleader. I never met her until yesterday.
So you just up there with Charlotte and them, that's when you met.
That's when right, yes, sir. I met Samantha. And I met her 5 kids.
Oh, wow.
We all left. We get to Walmart. We're at Walmart for a little bit. All of a sudden, Octavius Rhymes walks up to me. He said, man, I gotta go. I said, why? He's like, my mom just called me and cussed me out, telling me I better get the damn car home. So I well, let me go find Jonathan real quick. Let me ask Jonathan if he can give us, me and my wife, a ride home back to your house. When Jonathan took me home that afternoon, though, Octavius was home. Octavius ended up leaving with Jonathan. They left together. Me and my wife stayed home. All of a sudden, around the 7 or 8 at last night, they showed back up. This time, they showed up with Octavius, Jonathan, Samantha, and her kids. Jonathan pulls me to the side. Say, cuz, I need to talk to you. I don't know what's up. He's like, look, old girl, talking about Samantha. He said, Samantha, wants us to, do something. And he wouldn't tell me full detail.
Why do none of these peeps have a lawyer? Brother, they're meth heads. Like, what do you mean? You've seen the conditions that they live in. I don't think they're thinking about any of this. Like, it's just, they don't even think that they have rights in this situation. Like, they're not even expected. They're poor. They're poor. They don't even think that the law is on their side in any capacity, regardless of some of them even being white, right? Which, for the record, they're right. The law isn't on their side. Doesn't necessarily always mean stupid. I mean,
Yeah, I think sometimes too, they might think that they're coming off as more innocent or trustworthy when they don't.
he's already
have a
in.
lawyer.
I think we're way past the point of no return at this point. When you're in
Well,
the
like,
orange jumpsuit,
Samantha should have at least had a lawyer. I think she was trying to appear trustworthy and innocent by not having a lawyer present.
Yeah.
Until we went to the place, all of a sudden, he tells me, he said, look, I just need you to stand guard.
JoJo describes what is called a criminal conspiracy between himself and John to commit the crime of kidnapping. Another important revelation is JoJo's claim that Tay was a willing participant in the conspiracy, despite Samantha's and John's initial reluctance to implicate him. It turns out that old Cuz was actually Tay all along. Let's hear it straight from the source. Meet Octavius Tay Rhymes, whose identity Samantha and John attempted to conceal initially. Tay had requested a meeting with the Titus County Sheriff's Office with the intention of getting a deal in the works. However, Tay was informed that he'd need his lawyer to handle the negotiating with the DA's office. While seated with investigator Wayne Minor, Tay went ahead and pleaded his case.
I should have spoke to y'all without a lawyer, but I admitted to y'all, that I was in the vicinity when they took the dude from his home. But I didn't realize that they were planning on doing. So like I said, I know y'all ran my criminal background history already. I don't have no violent background, I don't have no felonies, no misdemeanors. No, I've never been in no serious trouble like this ever. So I'm trying to work with y'all, but I can't really give y'all no more information if no thing.
Okay. I don't understand why or how the timeline works on when these guys are getting questioned. But I too have noticed that the only two people that are like immediately in jail here and in the orange jumpsuits are the black guy and the Mexican guy. What's up with that? No, I don't know. I'm not making any assumptions here, but I am simply asking, what the fuck is going on there? Like, why? Like, what happened? Because there's a process when you can't just like, for someone to go from plain clothes to like orange jumpsuit, there's literally a process that took place. And I am very confused how they just like escalated that, or how they fast tracked that entire process for these two guys. I'm sure they'll describe it.
Deal on the table.
Striking a deal is quite common in criminal cases, especially those with multiple defendants. Often, the prosecution will offer a more lenient sentence to the accused in exchange for the accused providing information to the police or agreeing to testify against one of the other defendants. However, it's important to note that a criminal defendant cannot make a deal with the police. Only the prosecutors are authorized to make deals with defendants. Therefore, any sort of deal that the police make with Tay wouldn't have any legal effect, unless, of course, such a deal was approved by the prosecutor's office.
I stayed downstairs the entire time.
And then, but she whistled.
That means she was downstairs. Because, like I said, me, Octavius, and
How'd she whistle? Was it like that or?
Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. She was downstairs. She had to be.
But you didn't see her?
No.
And so who went back in when she did it? Jonathan did.
And all of a sudden, Jonathan comes back out and says, "Come here, cuz I talk to you." So we walk over here. He's like, her mom just called, say she's that a friend, she's sending a friend over to see her or whatever, something like that. He's like, so she said, we got to go. We need to go now.
JoJo claims that Samantha told them to move quickly. Records indicate that she called her mother to alert her of the attack. Because her mother's home was an hour's drive from Samantha's, she assumed that would give the men ample time to leave the premises with Dagan. What Samantha didn't anticipate was that her mother would send a nearby aunt to her rescue. There's no way JoJo could have known this bit of information if Samantha wasn't in on the ruse.
And so we left.
They arrive at a secluded area that serves as their destination.
Tay's looking at me, I'm looking at him. Jonathan looks back at us. Jonathan pulls it out, he's holding it. All of a sudden, I tell him, man, dude, you're too close, dude. You finna take the man's life, but you're too close to the road. Tay's looking, Tay's like, man, you really are. He said, it's gonna be loud.
This moment is key, as with this statement, JoJo may have just admitted to being an accomplice to Dagan's murder. By admitting to the sheriff that he told John to move further from the road before killing Dagan, prosecutors could argue that JoJo attempted to aid John in his murder of Dagan, leaving JoJo equally culpable for it.
All right, hold on just a second. Drink your Coke, and I'll be right back.
Dumb.
While JoJo waits for the sheriff to return, he's well aware that the camera is still rolling.
I don't understand how the hell you're gonna blame me for shit that he did.
Oh my God, he's the best criminal. Yo, that is awesome. Oh man, it sure be a crime if I went to jail for criminal conduct that others did. It's like, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. That is excellent. Brownie points for him. He should have a reduced sentence for that one.
Okay. I went because he asked me for help.
So you know what time they took Samantha home?
To be honest, I believe it was before midnight, but I couldn't really tell you the time. I don't remember the times. I think it was before midnight though, because she was talking about how the kids were getting sleepy and she needed to get to the house. Something about her man was asleep or something and she didn't want him waking up and getting mad at her.
No question about it, Samantha has been caught in a lie. Cell tower records give us the real story. Despite Samantha's attempts to deceive law enforcement, her phone wasn't near her home until approximately 10:30 p.m. on February 19th, just a few hours before the invasion. A major development in the case occurs just 3 days after the murder of Dagan. though it would be a stretch to say it came as a shock. Samantha is arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and murder. In the end, the failed conspiracy resulted in lengthy prison terms for all involved. John and JoJo pleaded guilty the following year, in April of 2016. They received 50-year sentences for their roles in Dagan's kidnapping and murder.
John
Months
got
later,
a...
in December of 2016, Tay went on trial. It didn't go as he'd hoped, however. He was found guilty of murder and aggravated kidnapping and was sentenced to a total of 93 years. Last but not least came the mastermind behind the whole terribly designed plot.
God damn.
Samantha went on trial for Dagan.
Bro, John got 50 years and he spilled the beans the whole damn time. That's crazy. Okay. Also, why did Tay get 93? I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Is he the one who shot? Is that what they decided? He's the one who shot the person? Oh, because the other two got a plea deal, and he didn't take the plea, and he went to trial, so we got 93. Dude, our criminal justice system is so fucking insane.
Murder in September of 2017. Not surprisingly, she was found guilty. She was sentenced to 99 years. In addition, she received another 50 years for the kidnapping to be served consecutively with her murder sentence.
Like, why not just make
To
it
this
100
day,
years?
It is still unknown who pulled the trigger and killed Dagan.
That's crazy. Remember, no one knows who pulled the trigger, but if you fucking go to trial, they will hammer you. They will literally add, they will tack on so much more on top just to like, that's insane. That's crazy. All right, well, Ray, thank you so much for coming on to react to this criminal crime.